as you can see, the weather's pretty bad. But, we're out here. We're gonna give it a try. There's usually a gobbler right over my shoulder, roosted. So I'm gonna keep this brief. He hasn't sounded off yet, but it's probably because of the weather. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna start a few calls. See if maybe he flies down, see if he'll answer me. Can't kill him on the couch, as I always say, so we gotta be out here. Stick with me, we'll see if we can get it done.
The weather was definitely discouraging, but then, way out in the middle of the field, an old familiar head popped up. He closed the distance slowly at first. Once he had committed, he strutted in to defeat the interloper. Even the rain couldn't dampen his enthusiasm. This Tom was definitely spoiling for a fight. Closed captioning in today's episode is brought to you by Canuck. Oh, there he is, wet, drowned rat. Laying in a mud hole, and we got him. Knocked over my decoy, he's got it all askew here and everything. But not a bad bird. I think he's got maybe a 9-inch beard or something like that, but in this kind of pouring rain, I wasn't gonna argue. It's the first bird for the season. Now I'll go out and try and get one. I was trying to get one with my bow, but as I said, I don't like hunting turkeys in the rain with the bow. You know, if you make a marginal shot, you got a big problem. So, yeah, number one down. We'll go try and get another one. After a thorough drying period, I took to the turkey woods again. When I called in this crafty gobbler, he used the drainage ditch to sneak within striking distance of my decoys. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the red-tailed hawk for his assistance.
He just flopped his way down into the ditch. I better go grab him.
Well, here he is, tagged out now, second tag filled with the new Canuck Engaged turkey. It's just been fantastic. This is the second turkey I've shot with it. I shot a big gobbler here a few days ago, and now this one. I thought this one was a bigger bird, to be perfectly honest with you. He come in there beating up on my decoy and everything. I could see that he had a beard. I knew it was a legal bird, but with the tall grass the way it was, couldn't really see how good a beard he had, but and he got his back to me right away, starting to beat up on the decoy, mounted right up onto it. So I thought, oh well, I'll take him anyway. I have to switch gears here pretty soon to start baiting bears. So it's good to have this one done. I would have preferred that he didn't dive into the creek, but what are you gonna do now? He's all soaking wet, full of mud. I had to take him home and hose him off before I can even clean him. I'm gonna notch out my tag and head on home and have some breakfast. Well, I'm glad to have my custom turkey toter that my son Chris had made for me. Had a nice leather and everything. This soaking wet stinking bird. I can throw him over my shoulder. I don't have to throw him over my shoulder this way and get everything slaughtered up with mud. So been a great hunt. A lot of fun this year. Little trials and tribulations, which always makes it interesting, but it's been a good hunt and I'm very happy to have been able to take part in it. Those birds are no longer in the field, so nothing to see here. I'm gonna head home, have some breakfast, and I gotta go into work. This portion of today's episode is brought to you by Bergara. Our barrels make the difference. All right, guys, well, welcome back. As you saw, we had a measure of success on our turkey hunt. And I'm here now with my good friend Becky Doosling, who is going to share with us some of her expertise in the kitchen. She's going to show us a really nice, unique way to prepare our turkey. And I'm really eager to see what she has in store for us.
Okay, well, thanks for having me again.
You're welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be here. And today I want to share with you my recipe for wild turkey and dumplings. So I'll let you know what we have here. This is the basics for turkey and dumplings. So we're going to start with our butter. We've got carrots, celery, onions, peas, parsley, garlic, stock, a little bit of cream, and of course, the star of the show, our wild turkey. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to start with melting our butter. We're going to drop that in. That won't take long, our pan's hot.
You got me sold already just with the butter.
That's the base to any good stew. All right. We're going to add some white onion. Some celery. Some of our carrots. We're just going to cook these down. There's going to be lots of time to cook them, but we're just going to kind of saute them in the butter before we move on to the next step. And in this dish, I have a little bit of garlic I'm going to add in. This will take about 5 minutes or so to cook down a little bit and get a little bit soft. Okay, so this is a basic turkey and dumplings recipe. Feel free to add any other vegetables you like. For example, mushrooms. Mushrooms would be good, peppers if you like. I just happen to like it like this. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do here is add a little bit of flour, okay? So you don't have to measure it. You can just sprinkle some in, and this is just going to help us thicken up the base of our wild turkey and dumplings. So you just kind of sprinkle a little bit of that in, and kind of cook your flour. Cook it in the butter. Let it get a little bit pasty. I'm also going to throw in some thyme. Thyme is my favorite for turkey and dumplings. Just again, we're not measuring, we're just sprinkling. I like it. I'm going to add a lot, and it's delicious. So we're just kind of cooking that flour. Let it get a little bit brown if you like. It's going to give it some really good flavor. This is the best dish for cold weather comfort. You know, it's warm, it's filling, it's hearty. You're going to love it. Just going to let that flour cook off a little bit. And the next thing that we have to do is we're going to deglaze it. So you can use stock, you can use wine, you can use anything that you like to just kind of start making our broth. So what I'm going to use is a little bit of white wine. Okay, so you don't need much, just a little splash. And it gives it a nice depth of flavor. And we'll cook the wine flavor off of it, but it is really nice.
Even the smell just of the vegetables is beautiful.
It's heavenly.
Really nice.
That thyme, it's beautiful. So now what I've got here is chicken stock. You can make your own, you can buy some, whatever you like. And I'm just going to pour that in. So this is 2 cups, but I'm probably going to use more than that. Okay. And I've got a bay leaf. It's a good secret ingredient. Okay, so it's not looking great right now, but it's going to. And don't forget, you can make a lot of this at one time too. You can double it and triple it, and it's going to taste just the same. You just add a little bit more of everything. So I'm going to get this up to temperature. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add in our wild turkey. All right, so I'm not going to use all this because it's a lot of turkey for how much broth we have going on here. But you definitely want to put a lot in. So I've seasoned this with a little bit of salt and pepper. Nothing more. Just don't want to splatter it.
That's probably about 2 breast fillets off of, so one bird. Typical size, you know, adult wild turkey.
Yeah. And I'd like to add that somebody did the hard work for me and kindly removed all of the fat, trimmed it up, the silver skin, everything, and got rid of it. So those were ready to go. I just cut them into tiny little bite-sized pieces. And if you say roasted a whole wild turkey after you harvested it, you could shred it and just use the leftover stuff that's already cooked. I know what everybody's thinking. She put raw wild turkey in here, but it's okay. It's going to cook and it's going to be great. But don't be afraid to use the leftover stuff too.
This portion of today's episode is brought to you by PSE Art.
I'm going to turn that down and we can get to making our dumplings now.
Okay.
All right, guys, now that we've got our wild turkey cooking in our stock, we're probably going to let that sit there for at least 15-20 minutes, but don't be afraid to let it sit longer because that will really help tenderize the meat. So, you know, you can even make it earlier in the day and reheat it when you're ready to do your dumplings. And that's what we're going to do right now is get our dumplings going. So right here in this bowl, I've got 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. That's all. And I'm also going to season these again with a little bit of thyme. I'm just going to do a little shake in.
Now you had mentioned, Becky, that that what was the seasoning that tenderizes the meat a little bit?
The bay leaf.
Ah, okay.
I did put a bay leaf in there, and it's really nice. It's supposed to help break down the fibers in the meat.
Oh, I see.
And
Okay.
the thyme is just for flavor. I've also got a little bit of flat leaf Italian parsley here that I've chopped up, and that's really just for color. And so I'm going to put those into our dumplings as well. Okay, so we got that mixed up a touch, and now in this bowl I have 1 cup of whole milk and 3 tablespoons of butter, and I've melted it in the microwave, but it's not hot to the touch. So we're just going to add that in. Okay, this is a very simple dumpling recipe, but I'm pretty fussy about my dumplings, and some people like to mix this up, drop them in any which way. You can do that. You can do it any way you like. I like mine rolled into little balls and dropped in, and I like them to be uniform. That way I know that they're all cooked at the same time, and you're not going to bite a big old lump of dough. Okay? Yeah. It wouldn't taste good.
No.
So this is a little bit sticky, so I've got some extra flour here. I'm just going to put that in. So all this flour in these dumplings, when you drop them in, it's also going to help thicken up your soup base, essentially, is what it is. So it's kind of nice. It'll be very, very thick and rich and have a lot of depth to it. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. It's still a touch sticky, and that's okay. So here's the good part. Sometimes you just got to get in there and do it. Okay. And so I'm going to break these like this, okay? It's not rocket science, but I do like them uniform. So I just set them onto a plate. I'll roll them all out and then toss them in when I'm ready. Okay, so give me a few minutes and we'll get these rolled up and I'll show you what's next. Okay. All right, now that we've got our dumplings, they're ready to go. The next step that we have to do is put our green peas into the pot, and we'll check on our wild turkey that's cooking right now. And I've got a little bit of heavy whipping cream here. So let's go over there and we'll check this out. So now we're going to add our peas. Give them a quick stir. I'm also going to add in a little bit more parsley just for color. It's beautiful. Okay. So this is almost ready to put our dumplings on top. Looks good. And I've got a little bit of heavy whipping cream here. And you don't have to put this if you're watching calories or not, but we're just going to add a little bit in just for richness because it's beautiful. So you can see it kind of makes it a little bit more white. And next we're going to add in our dumplings. Now you don't want to crowd these. They're going to puff up a little bit, okay, because they've got baking powder in them, so they're going to expand. So you're just going to dump them on top. So I suspect we'll probably use about half of this plate. And then we're going to put a lid on it and we're going to let these little babies cook. Right? Doesn't that look good? It's good stuff. So you just want to put a lid on it, and you're going to want to give this probably, I would say, 15 minutes. And if you're unsure, pull one out and cut it in half and see if it's fully cooked, because it should be cooked all the way through by then. Okay, we've let our dumplings cook for about 15-20 minutes now, and they're ready to go. So I'm just going to go get them and we're going to try them. It's pretty hot.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. So I'm kind of making a mess, but that's okay. You can make it thinner if you want. You can make it thicker. I've got some nice dumplings there for you. And I'm just going to top it off with a little bit of parsley. All right. It's going to be hot, but this will warm you right up if you're cold. So dig in. I want you to give it a whirl. Yeah, you're looking for that turkey.
Oh, I'm looking for the turkey and the dumpling. Mmm.
Good stuff?
Mmm.
All right. Good. Well, there you have it, folks. Wild turkey and dumplings.
The seasoning and the pop of the peas.
It's perfect.
Sweetness of the carrots, just phenomenal. Thank you very much for joining us. Join us next week on Line of Sight for more exciting hunting action. For exclusive sneak peeks and behind the scenes action, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Line of Sight TV.